What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update, and we have some good news. We have some details about the actual next stimulus package. We have confirmation of checks, and then we actually have some bad news that a lot of you guys aren't going to like, and we're going to go over all that information here in just a few minutes. Okay, so where do you guys want to start? You want to start with the good news, the details of the next stimulus package, or the bad news? Let's start with the details. Okay, we're starting to receive some details from the next stimulus package. This bill was drafted and written by Mitch McConnell and some of the very top Republicans. And in the past day or two, it was revealed to the rest of the Republicans and also to the Democratic leaders, Nancy Pelosi, and to the White House. So, what are some things that will be in the next stimulus package? We have help for schools. We have more money for small businesses via the PPP loan, or if you have a side hustle, you will qualify for this money most likely, and more virus testing money. There's also going to be money for jobs, healthcare, kids in school, and liability protections, and a stimulus check directly to Americans. But there's two big things that were actually left out. One that is directly going to affect a lot of Americans. In this bill will be $105 billion for schools, and schools are going to need this money to reopen because they're receiving less money in tax money. And when you spread that out across the entire country, thousands and thousands of cities, $105 billion sounds like a lot, but it's not really that much money when you divide that up between 50 states and tens of thousands of cities. It's important to note that the Republicans have drafted this bill around $1 trillion. That's this number they have set in their head that they want it to be for $1 trillion. And you're going to find out that's why they've left out some very important things. And so basically that's their starting point. They started at $1 trillion. The Democrats want a $3 trillion bill. And President Donald Trump and the White House want a $2 trillion bill. For reference, the first stimulus bill that included a check to Americans was about $2.2 trillion. Their starting point's at $1 trillion. I don't think there's any way possible that it's going to stay at $1 trillion. I think we're going to get somewhere around at least 1.5 or close to $2 trillion, depending on what they add into the package and what is negotiated by the Democrats. Mitch McConnell says the American job market needs another shot of adrenaline. Senate Republicans are laser focused on getting American workers their jobs back. And what he means by that is they are proposing another round of PPP stimulus loan that goes out to small businesses, people with side hustles, people that sell on Amazon, people that drive for Uber. If you're a real estate agent, you get 1099. If you qualified for the first PPP loan, if you watched my video on that and you got at least $1,000, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you guys got that money. I'll put a link down below in the description to that video if you want to learn more about that. The first PPP money has run out. So if you have a side business where you get 1099 or you make any type of side money that's not W-2 from an employer, you will likely qualify for at least $1,000 in the second PPP loan. That's going to be really big news once it's actually official and in law. So again, I'll put the link to the first video down below in the description if you want to learn more about it, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on when that information comes out, when to actually file for it for the second one. Also, if you know anybody with a side hustle, a side business, or side income, share this video with them or share this video on Facebook so that other people will find out about this. There's thousands or probably even millions of people who missed out on the first PPP stimulus payment to Americans with small businesses or side hustles because they just didn't know about it. So if you can share this video on Facebook, I will be eternally grateful. Also, if you can hit the like button for me down below, it really helps out my channel. Me and my wife are doing all the research for you guys so that we can give you all the stimulus information in just a few minutes. So make sure you're subscribed if you haven't yet. Mitch McConnell did indicate there will be, for sure, confirmation that there will be a stimulus payment directly sent out to Americans in this next stimulus bill. And they're trying to completely pass this and get it to the president's desk by July 31st before the end of the month. Now, interestingly enough, Mitch McConnell did not mention the $40,000 soft income cap as the first limit of who will get the full amount of the checks, okay? So this is something that he had been mentioning several different times. What that means is that anybody who made $40,000 or under would get the full amount of the check, and anybody who made over that would start to get a slightly decreased amount of the check up to a certain amount. We don't know the numbers yet on what the income cap is going to be. In the first stimulus check, it was $75,000 was the amount you could make up to get the full amount of the check. And if you made $76,000, like the first check was $1,200, you would maybe get $1,150 if you made $76,000, and that went all the way up to $99,000 in income for a single person. That would be the top limit. So that would be where your check would actually hit zero. You'd get no check. Okay, so we don't know if it's going to be $40,000 or up to $75,000. It's going to be somewhere between that for that first starting limit of the check, okay? So we don't know that. We're going to find that out here in the next coming days. I will update you guys as soon as possible when it comes out. We also don't know the actual amount of the check. They have not released this yet. It's funny that they're kind of playing coy with us. They've confirmed that there will be a check. This is coming directly from Mitch McConnell. We know the Democrats and President Donald Trump already want a check. So they have confirmed there will be a check, but we do not know how much yet. So I will keep you guys updated as soon as that information comes out. Now, we haven't got to the bad news yet, and I'm actually a little scared to tell you guys this. But there's two sets of bad news, and the first really bad one is that in this bill, there's absolutely nothing about extending the federal unemployment bonus. So at this point, it looks like they're not going to be able to extend that before the July 31st deadline. It's still a possibility because they can literally write it tomorrow and start negotiating on it. But in this bill, there is no money and no anything for extending the federal unemployment bonus. We had initially heard last week that they were thinking about extending it at $200 to $400 per week, and also at no more than 100% of what you made from your previous job. And in this bill, there's absolutely no money for extending the unemployment bonus or even mention of extending the unemployment bonus. So at this point, I don't think they're going to be able to do it before the July 31st deadline. It's still a very real possibility that they could do it after July 31st and either retroactive the payments back to July 31st or just have a small period of maybe a couple weeks in there where it's not extended and it'll just start again from, say, 2 weeks after or whenever they actually enact the payments. The Democrats are going to be absolutely furious about this. They're going to just throw a fit like you have never seen before. So that is still going to probably be a big thing up for negotiation. I personally think if they want to get anywhere with this package, that they're going to have to negotiate with the Democrats and have somewhere in there where it's at $300 or $400 per week and extend that probably for a couple months and most likely to the end of the year. Since we're already almost into August, that is probably the most likely thing that will happen. But I will keep you guys updated as that breaking news comes out. We're going to hear a lot about it, probably even still this week. The other big news that's not included in this stimulus package is absolutely no money at all for the states and the cities that are struggling across America due to this pandemic and due to very highly reduced income taxes for their states and cities. Economists have said that they will likely need at least $500 billion to bail out these states and cities that are struggling due to, less revenue coming in. And the Republicans gave them zero. They gave $0 for all the states and all the cities across the whole United States. And there are some cities that are on the verge of bankruptcy, and they're going to give them $0. So That's the problem with trying to only have $1 trillion for the stimulus package is there's just not going to be enough money to go around. So this isn't the end of the world. They could just write it in another stimulus package afterwards. This stimulus package is technically the fifth stimulus package that they will be passing and the second stimulus package that has a check to Americans. There will be more. There will probably be more. I mean, it's not like this virus and this pandemic is just going to end at the end on July 31st, like the unemployment's going to. But this is probably going to continue on to the end of the year. And I wouldn't be surprised, we're already at 5 stimulus packages. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 10 before all this is over. And if this goes on well into next year, then we're going to see a lot more. Also, my mom told me something interesting. She was looking up the 1918 pandemic, the Spanish flu pandemic. That lasted for 2 years, or at least the majority of it, the big effect of it lasted 2 years. So if this lasts 2 years, then, I mean, we're in different times than we were back then. We could see monthly stimulus checks being introduced. We already do see them through unemployment. We have both state unemployment and the federal unemployment. Those are monthly checks, actually weekly checks that you get every single week, you get every single month. So if this goes on for 2 years, our economy is going to be crushed. And we're going to see a lot more stimulus. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And apparently from their Senate closed-door meeting with the Republicans, there are several Republican senators, such as Ted Cruz from Texas, who are completely furious that there's going to be another stimulus package and more stimulus checks sent out to Americans. I don't know what world they live in. I mean, we literally still have 3 times more unemployed people than before the pandemic, and it's not getting any better. We're seeing record virus cases. These guys don't want to pass more stimulus, and they don't want to give out checks to Americans. So I'm just completely flabbergasted. I can't even understand what world these guys are living in. We are still seeing at least 60,000 new cases every single day. We had 63,000 cases yesterday, and we were as high as 75,000 cases about 5 days ago. So, this thing is not going to get better. Even President Donald Trump is starting to change his tune about this virus. He just started wearing a mask last week, and he actually came out and said that this virus will likely get worse before it gets better. President Donald Trump says it will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is. He says, we're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, please wear a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact. They have an effect, and we need everything we can get. In addition to that, on Tuesday, we had more than 1,000 people not make it, which is the first time since May that we have passed that milestone. So we're not seeing just new cases, but also people who didn't make it. And it's just unfortunate that this just keeps to rise and rise and spread and spread. In addition to that, the White House is already starting to look to the Democrats for help and negotiation with the next stimulus package. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will kick off a first round of negotiations on the next virus relief plan as Republicans are still hashing out an agreement among themselves. So at least they're doing something smart and involving the Democrats in these negotiations, which is what it's going to take to see the final details and the final passing of this bill. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. I will update you guys as we get more details, which will probably be every single day. We're going to have more details coming out about how much the check's going to be for, when it's going to be, what income limits are going to be for this check, and extensions of unemployment. So I will keep you guys updated, and make sure to smash the like button for me down below and subscribe if you haven't yet. And over here are new videos about the second stimulus check. Watch those if you haven't yet. And over here, I'll link a video which teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling only one product on Amazon. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.